Okay, everybody, welcome to the Sunday night live stream. Don't know how many more Sunday nights I'm going to do this. Trying to decide whether or not anybody even wants to see this on Sunday nights, if I shouldn't do it on a regular night. But hey, I'm going to continue for a bit, see what kind of value I can bring to everybody, make sure that you're getting what you need. And if you have any questions, answer them here. A little bit of spending some time and going through some numbers with you, see how the week ended, what's going on for the rest of the week. And hopefully with all of that, get you all the information that you need about the housing market nationwide and, of course, here in the Las Vegas area. So without any further ado, I want to go ahead and, of course, share that screen and share a few little numbers that I have here. So let's go ahead. And as always, I like to thank good old Ruthie there because she puts these out. And, like I said, I usually like to show my work. I'll just go ahead and show some stuff that Ruthie got for us here. So right now, as of yesterday when she put this out, she's showing about 27 days of inventory. Now, when you compare that against last year, we had about 2 months of inventory. So we have half the inventory we had last year. But, hey, it's getting better because we were down under 2 weeks a while back. Now, here is the interesting part and the part that I love. Let me see. Let me get myself in here for just a second. This is the part I love. If you're looking at that, median price as of this week is actually down a bit. This is blowing me away because I thought I would never see it. It's down to 403. So this could just be because people are looking at a little bit cheaper of a house out there. Doesn't indicate that the market is actually going down. Even though when I do my big market update, hopefully that's going to be coming out Thursday for you guys as I put a little bit of nerddom into it. She is showing that it's down by a little bit compared to last month. Now, we don't know what the trend is going to be for the rest of the year, but as you see with that inventory being way down like that, normally, this is when our market starts to slow down. And whenever I recommend folks to buy houses and they can't hold off, this is the time of year that I say, hey, you want to wait until mid-October, late September, November, December. People are not thinking about houses. Even though we don't have the kind of markets you have in the Midwest and places like that where the market completely stops during the wintertime, we're year round, but it does slow down and you get the best bargains. Now, right now, we are not seeing where we have, like the 20 and 30 offers. I've said that for a few weeks. We are seeing houses stick around for a little bit more time on market, which is, really good for folks. So this is really turning out to be a really great thing. And I'm telling you, this is really going to turn out to be a good time of year. Now, last year, we did not have as big of a slowdown as we normally have. And this year, we're hoping there's going to be some kind of a slowdown, especially a nice respite for the buyers out there, because I know buyers have been beat up like crazy. I mean, whoever thought that housing prices in Las Vegas would ever get this high? As we get through some numbers later, I'll show you a few little things here. So right now, it's still the same. About 31% of the homes are being purchased by non-owner occupied. Some of those are being used to flip, like you got your open doors, your offer pads, your Zillows. A funny one on that, when I mentioned Zillow, I had a sale earlier this year where I sold the house and we actually got 20,000 over list price. The list price was already at you know, the high end of anything that sold at that size. Sold it within that weekend, 30 offers, took the highest price, which is a cash buyer. So I decided to look the house up. I'm not gonna. I should. I probably should put show it up here. Maybe I will if I get all daring and everything. So I'm figuring, no, the cash buyer, who is a flipper, is going to flip it. Well, it turns out they flipped it to another cash buyer who happens to be Zillow. And I mean, they flipped it for a crap ton of money to a point where it almost made my blood boil. And I don't mean it was flipped to them within 3 weeks for a crap ton of money. Now, here's where it gets interesting. And I do mean interesting. That house has been sitting there, I mean, since May. So June, July, August, September, October, 5 months. They have not put this house back on the market. Cat, I do have somebody who I work with who helps with rentals. Get in touch with me and I'll put you in touch with Michelle and we'll see what we can do for you. Okay. Now, I'll talk about rentals for just 1 second, really quick. On rentals, I'm going to be very honest with you. Rentals that are handled by real estate agents are the ones that are in the MLS. Here in Las Vegas, most rentals are in the MLS. If it's a house, if it's an apartment, it's not. Now, houses, townhomes, and condos are usually handled by real estate agents. They're on the MLS. Now, the issue that you have is right now, because of the economy, it's just as hard to get a house, condo, or townhome as it is to buy a house. And I've had trouble putting people in houses with 800 credit scores with literally $300,000 in the bank and great jobs, where it's been a struggle. So I just want to put that out there first. For all I know, you got 300,000 in the bank, great job, and 800 credit score too. But you may not be looking for the same type of house and everything. But it is a struggle right now putting folks in the rentals that are great rentals. And if you have an issue, I mean, I could show you some alternative ways, but many of those are not handled by real estate agents. But get in contact with me and I'll put you in touch with Michelle. And if you fit in her schedule, we'll get you taken care of. Hope that answers your question, Kat. I don't know what no, I don't mean, but we'll see what I'll go over it real quick. Right now, as far as getting a rental, since you're asking, what most well, not really landlords, most are handled by what are known as property managers here in the Las Vegas area. What they're looking for in general is over a 600 credit score. It's usually going to be even higher than that, but I'm just going to say in general, 600. They're looking for a gross income that produces 30% of the rent. So let's just say that the rent's $1,000 a month. Your gross income needs to be $3,000 a month. So just to make it really simple, no evictions, period. That's pretty much cut and dry. Now you can get around some of these things with extra down. So if we're just using a hypothetical 1,000, like let's say you do, instead of 1,000, give them 3,000 or 2,000, they may look at it. So that's not guaranteed. Some of them will look at a whole person. If you're evicted for some reason, there could have been a reason. Somebody could have been mad at you. I don't know. And there are some issues, especially with COVID. Some of those evictions aren't supposed to count, but I would have to get deeper into that with one of the property managers and what the current laws say. Oh, okay. With that, what you have there, you should have you should be able to get something that's going to be pretty nice. So yeah, so based on what you're typing in there, Kat. So just get with me and I'll put you in touch with Michelle. And at the worst case scenario, if you're on YouTube, uh, if it's not in there now, I'm not sure if it's in there now. If you go to my website, topvegasareahomes.com, I'm going to say that again, topvegasareahomes.com. If you go in there and you go into advanced search, you can actually do a rental search and you'll see every rental that's available in the Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson area. So they're all there on my website. All you have to do is just register on the website, go there. I know now, if you don't register, you may not be able to see all the information, but if you just want to see what's there, don't even register. Okay. Does that help you out some? Okay. I'll wait for that answer because I know there's a little bit of a delay. Okay. Let's see. As we go back through. So anyway, as I wait to see if Kat has any more questions there, one of the things that, well, what happened was I looked at it and it's like it's been 5 months. They have not put this back on the market. Don't know why, because I just saw the exact same house. It's under contract right now. This exact same house, probably in the same condition that I sold it at. And it is under contract for less than I sold this house for. So that may be the reason. A lot of these guys, they just went crazy over the summer. They went crazy. And like I was telling folks, if you were a seller and you're looking to sell your house and you didn't want any fuss, no muss, because remember, no matter how much somebody offers on your house, they got to perform on that loan. They got to do something. I can say all day long, I'm going to give you X amount for your house and I'm going to pay so much over. But when it comes to it and the appraisal comes back, and we'll talk about appraisals in a minute, I could just walk away. And I think this is a good point to talk about something. I was on something this week. I'm with Keller Williams, and we had some masterminds this week. So it was agents all over the country. And what was interesting, I was in a group and we were talking. We got this one agent, and she started talking and talking. I'm sorry, real estate agents talk a little too much, even for me. Uh, and so something she said just perked my ears up. And she was talking about, in her area, she was talking what she called the due diligence fee. I'm like, and then she kept talking. I'm like, what in the world's a due diligence fee? So in North Carolina, they have what's known as a due diligence fee. And some you may know it if you're listening to some other parts of the country. It's the walkaway money. That's what she called it, the walkaway money. In order to put an offer in on a house, you have to pay this walkaway money. And that walkaway money, she said she has seen it as high as $200,000 in her area. And typically it is 20 to 40K. So you got to give, in order to put an offer in on a house and put it under contract. This isn't your EMD. This is something completely different. You got to give someone right now, as of this week, on average, $20,000 to $40,000 in her area in North Carolina to put the house under contract. And then if you cancel the contract, they get to keep it. So I'm figuring she's in a multi-million-dollar market, right? Because she then mentions about how she had just closed on her own home, where she sold her home and got $95,000 over the asking price. You know what the average house price in her home in her area in North Carolina was? $380,000. Ridiculous, ridiculous. So anyway, back to Kat here. Yep. So it's not really a waste. You're just going to have to go out there and look. If you're trying to be too particular, or you're taking your time, it's going to take you a second, Kat. You can get into places, but don't expect you're going to be in Summerlin uh, paying that like 2,000. I think I put this person in a place down. It's right outside of Green Valley, kind of between that and Southern Highlands. It was about $2,000. So it's a single story. No, no, she didn't get that one. It ended up being a 2-story, non-gated neighborhood. So yeah, you can find it. You're just gonna have to work for it like anything else and not play around and have all your stuff straight before you walk in. Just like buying a house now. So it's the same, and it's buying a house pretty much to rent now. And I don't know how much worse it's going to be, because I'm sure some of these landlords don't want to take any chances after what happened with the eviction moratorium. Now that it's over, they don't want that to ever happen again. So it's going to be on their minds a lot anymore. Oh, him. Yeah. So Henderson, according to what side of Henderson you want to be on, Green Valley is going, of course, going to be more expensive. If you go Old Henderson, that's not going to be too expensive. If you go in that area and some of the other parts of Henderson. But like I said, look on the website. Any rental that's there is there. You got all the search criteria you want. You can put it down to school districts and everything else if you want to. Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and get a little bit into the news, and then I'll talk about this appraisal thing I wanted to talk about. So looking over at realtor.com, they were talking a little bit about, has the fever broken? Well, it's according to what side of the country you're on. I'll tell you right now, fever is starting to break a little bit. And you're seeing people, they're not putting up with as much gruff. And I mean, come on. People can't do this stuff much longer, because where are they going to get the money from? Housing prices are the highest they've ever been. And I don't know how much longer they can put up with it. Same thing they're talking about. Why is the housing market so out of whack and people willing to pay $100,000 over market value? Well, it's just because it's just nuts. And a lot of these people who are paying it know there's nothing out there. I mean, there are people that I've tried to help out like right before this hit. And we go out there and we look for houses and know they got all picky and everything. There's one person I have in mind. I don't want to say much. I like to keep my clients confidential, but I would run a search for their criteria. And with under their criteria, let's say we started a year ago. If I looked for houses, there were literally 100 houses. But they'll find things wrong with it. I don't like this area. Can the seller fix this? And so we just kept going on, and time kept passing. Time kept passing. Then about 6 months ago, guess what? There were no houses that fit their criteria. Period. Dot. End of story. And for a lot of people who started a year ago, there's nothing fitting their criteria anymore. So if something's fitting your criteria, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, because there aren't too many gift horses that come around anymore. And about the only thing that you may have is for the next 2 to 3 months. I wish I had the article up. I should have thought about that. They're saying like the next 6 weeks is like the optimal time to buy. So hopefully you can go in there in the next 6 weeks and use this time to buy a house. And if you're selling, hopefully this is a good time to sell, especially if you're looking for that cash buyer, because I don't think they're going to continue with their craziness anymore. I think some of them have probably been burned, like the house I was talking about that I sold, and then that cash buyer flipped it to Zillow, and it's been sitting there for the last 5 months. I think Zillow looked and went like, oh, what have we done? Oh, I'm not going to get my money back. So now they realize they're not going to get their money back. They're just letting it sit there, praying that the market comes back and then they can do something about it. So that's one of the things. And if you look, mortgage rates or applications are down, and even refis are down. Most of the people who can refi have refied, got out of their high price loans, and gotten into better stuff, and not as many people are applying anymore. That is a sign for sellers, because a lot of sellers, let's just be very honest. Let's get honest with ourselves here. A lot of guys got to a point where they went, you know what, my neighbor got 20,000, 30, you know, some of these markets, 100,000 over. I want 100,000 because he got 100,000 or she got 100,000 over. Well, let's be honest. Let's go down to brass tacks here. When your neighbor got 100,000 over their asking price, you did get 100,000 because they affected the values. The second they got that $100,000, the price of your house went up 100,000, maybe even more. Because if they ask, let's hypothetically say 400,000 for their house, but their house was worth 380, and they got the 500 because someone offered 100,000 over and paid the difference. Guess what happened? That became the new price point that was set for all the appraisals, which means your house just went from really being worth 380, even though your neighbor wanted 400 and got 500, to being worth 500 overnight. Now you're saying you want 100 because they got 100. So now you want 6. Well, that only lasts so long. And the so long is bye-bye, and that is gone. When those cash offers were coming in from Zillow and Open Door and OfferPad, they were basing that on all of that craziness. Craziness gone, high offers are gone. So those offers are probably not going to be coming in the same. And their models, when the PhDs get there and they start redoing that stuff, probably going to end really soon if they haven't ended already. So you better go grab what you can while you can, because pretty soon, if they haven't already, they're going to end that. Now, this one I like. I didn't cover. I think I may have covered it in the past. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I did. This one's really funny about a contractor. Not funny, but contractor who did some bad work. This is why I say you need to check, folks. You know, check the work. This guy has lost his license. So let's just listen to this for just a second. Okay, let me unmute the site.
Lost his license. 13 chief, a local contractor. 13 investigates exposed for being quick to file lawsuits against his own customers. Just lost his license. 13 chief investigator Darcy Spears has this major update on the man who left people fearing that they'd lose their home.
Basically, my whole house has been tore up, 2 bathrooms, the kitchen, and it's been pretty much a nightmare.
A similar nightmare many homeowners shared with 13 investigates about Ruderman Plumbing and Bulmer Restoration. Both companies are owned by this man, Eduardo Arredondo. He was a no-show this morning at the Nevada Board of Contractors hearing, where he faced more than 100 violations, including fraudulent or deceitful acts, failure to comply with contract, bidding beyond scope of license, and abandonment.
We are recommending, first and foremost, that all of the licenses that they be revoked immediately, that is, as of today.
The Contractors Board also set fines at over $850,000. Arredondo and other principal employees are prohibited from applying for a new contractor's license until those fines are paid in full. Administrative Judge Philip Pro made it official.
So your motion is granted, Mr. Lang, for the default judgment. I would ask.
I think there's enough on that one. So yeah, at least the Contractors Board and everybody else is actually taking care of some of these folks. I mean, sometimes it just takes a little too much time, in my opinion, but at least something got done on this guy, because needs to be out there protecting folks, because these people had houses they couldn't live in, and it's just, I don't want to say it. Oh, hate it. It's disgusting. Somebody needs to be taking care of folks out there, especially when people do stuff like this. Now I'm going to get into the nerddom, because you haven't figured it out, I'm a nerd. I'm going to actually put these next few pages, I'm going to put them in the remarks down below, so you'll get to see them after my VA comes in and she starts putting some stuff down there for you. This first one is, of course, Freddie Mac. Those of you who don't know how this kind of works, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, those are the GSEs, government supported enterprises. They actually buy up the mortgages and stuff like that. And that's kind of like how the economy works. They buy all these mortgages up, and that's how banks and lenders get their money back to lend even more money to you, and it just keeps the economy going, and blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. But sometimes you may want to look through this stuff to kind of see where things are going. And you can see kind of like when you can start going in here and comparing stuff. Like when you look on average in the US, they use the year 2000 as their index. So December 2000, housing prices are up 241%. Now you can then go to places like, let's see here. So I could go to Las Vegas. And I can actually trace down, look at this, I can go all the way back to 1975 and look at prices. Now this is where it gets real interesting, especially here in Vegas. So you see how Vegas all these years tracked, and I mean, like way above the national average. And then when things got nuts, look at what Vegas did. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It just shot up way above. Then as the market crashed, look at it falling like a roller coaster. Boom, right past the national average, and then just cratered way down here. And then as it comes back up, look at it. It's only tracked to the national average from way back here. Even if you go back to 2000, which was, so where we say December, look at it. They're both on parity. They're both on parity. And they're almost on parity. Vegas is a little bit higher. It's at 248 compared to 243, 244. But look at that. So when you have people who are going like, oh, I'm just waiting for, houses to crash again. Crash to what? You've just come back from this big bottom to this big return that just parodies the national average. And that's one of the things that people aren't taking into account. So you got people down here who have made just massive amounts of money, especially on the east side of town. Their houses, and I'm not even talking this year, I'm talking before the current craziness started with COVID and everything, where we got, you see this, see this big up spike? Look at that. Boom. Before that went up 500%, because the east side of town, things went nuts. I mean, I sold a house, I think I closed in January or February. I have to go look at my numbers and everything, but I sold that house. The sellers bought the house back here. It was a townhouse. They paid $12,000 for it. They sold it in January of actually this year for $90,000, and had a renter in it the entire time, paying like $800 a month in rent. They got their money back in a little over a year, and then for a decade sat there collecting rent, and then sold it for multiple times what they bought it for. And I've got multiple examples of that too. So some people made some good money buying right here. And I've also seen it where people have like bought and hit in this area here and like sold, maybe in here and stuff like that. And then you'll have people going like, oh, I want to get the kind of money these people got, but you bought here. It's like, yeah, I want to get, it's like they never listen. It's like, yeah, but they got all this. See that upswing? Well, anyway, I'll put this down below. This way you guys can kind of see and put in your own little areas, like, maybe if you lived in Atlanta, Georgia or something. That's where you're kind of seeing what the market actually did. See, like Atlanta tracked real nice. Heck, Atlanta's not even keeping up with the national average. So that's some good stuff to know. This one, now I learned about this one on Monday. This one's, oh, actually, no, this is the next one. This is FHFA, Federal Housing Financing Agency. I don't know, government, sometimes you got to agree with some folks that government got too many things. I mean, look at all this stuff. This is all the government. The next few things I'm showing, and it's all different departments. They're kind of doing the same thing from different angles. Don't even understand why. Why can't they all just have one department doing one thing, So when we look here in the tools, of course, I'm going to put this down below for you. So Las Vegas is number 53, according to them, year over year. Market's up 17.1%. But there are a whole bunch of other different tools here for you guys to use. And you can go in there and see what's going on with the market, kind of understand. And next, this is one I learned about Monday. It's called Fred. And they have a whole bunch. It's out by the St. Louis Fed. And there's a whole bunch of cool stuff here. And it's a real good thing to kind of keep you up on what's going on in the housing market. So if you're trying to be a student of the housing market, go into Fred. Never heard of it before? Now I'm going to start going through this and be a real nerd or nerdier. And I want to leave you guys with this one here. This one is really cool. You can go in here and see the, whoa, what's going on here? Yeah. See like the counties and all this stuff. And so you can roll over any county, see the median home values. This is put out by the National Association of Realtors. And what's really cool is you can figure out what the monthly mortgage payment is today based on a median price home compared to 1 year ago. So you can see, like, let's go to Nevada. Okay, why didn't it give it? Did I click on the wrong thing here? Nevada. There we go. I don't know why it says New York County. Oh, anyway. So we're in Clark County. So based on this, right now your mortgage is going to be $1,362. If you bought a year ago, your mortgage would have been $1,268. So going to stick around for a second, see if anybody else has any information or any questions for me. Got a few people on here. While I'm doing that, of course, the good old spiel. If you are not subscribed, help a man out here and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit a like button, of course, if you like to do that. And leave a comment. I got some really great comments from Kat here. Hopefully she will reach out to us and get her in touch with somebody and get her helped out. Okay. Any questions before I leave? Because I know there is a slight delay, especially since I am live here. Okay, with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday. It's been a beautiful day today, and I hope to see you guys again next week. And of course, Thursday, look out for it. I'm going to have the big market update. And you know what? I was going to show you a mini update, but you know what? I'm the flub that I went too long already. So enjoy that, and I'll hopefully have my big market update out by Thursday. Hope you guys enjoy your week.